Hi everyone. Give me 1 second to get my paper out because if I don't keep my thoughts organized, we'll be here all night.
So what if we just do that at the end? Is that okay?
I just want to start off by saying thank you all for being here. It's so great to see you all, especially when you think you might be the only pro-life person around. It's so nice to see all your faces up here. Like Ellen said, my name is Schroeder. I graduated from the University of Toledo, not too far away, and I was a William Wilberforce Fellow with Students for Life in America. If you have a chance to participate in a fellowship, I highly recommend. I'd be happy to answer any questions about it, and I'm sure Ella would too. Also, I'm an engineer, and we're not exactly motivational speakers, so please bear with me. And if you feel like I'm yelling at you or I'm too quiet, just let me know. I won't be offended. So first I'll give some really quick background on me, and I'll sort of give away the ending for you. I've struggled with discernment for a long time. Some of you might be in a similar position if you're about to graduate high school or college, or you're about to retire or start a new job. You just feel like you're looking ahead at this giant abyss of your future and you don't know what the heck you're going to do with it. I totally relate to you. So my struggle included deciding on a career path and discerning whether or not God is calling me to marriage or religious life, and honestly what to do with my hair every day. So many decisions I stress about, so many. So I struggled with life's daunting decisions so much in the past year that I decided to add some physical struggle into my life, and I signed up for a half marathon. I paid money to do something painful, which is really silly, but I thought maybe it might help me get over this hump, and I was kind of desperate. So when I was a little kid, I was super shy, but kind of book smart, as some people would say, and I loved math and I loved building houses on video games. So naturally I majored in civil engineering, and for those of you that don't know, that's designing houses and roads and pipelines and stuff like that. So this initially seemed perfect for me. I was having a great time in college. I loved my classes. I loved my friends. Everything was going great. And then my sophomore year, I was struggling with the death of a classmate and a family member, and all of a sudden my major it didn't feel worthwhile anymore, and I didn't know what to do about it. Somehow it felt selfish, like my future career wouldn't actually be helpful to anyone, and those feelings of restlessness just haunted me for quite a while, and for lack of a better term, I like to call it the itch. Sounds a little gross, like a weird disease, but by the itch, I mean that you're just feeling like you're not doing enough, or you're not quite where you're supposed to be. And you all decided to come here today and listen to us, so I'd say you all have the itch as well. I'm officially diagnosing you all. So something I did to try and appease this itch was to restart the Students for Life group at UT. I actually see a former Students for Life president in the crowd, John, so it's great to see him here. He helped me out a lot. I'll go ahead and tell you this was a fantastic experience. Nothing made me feel more accomplished or impactful than leading this group, especially with Ella to help me. She was a huge help. And especially with tabling on campus. If you've ever tabled on a college campus, it's awesome. You get to step inside someone else's shoes, potentially change their mind on abortion. That's one of the best parts of the group. So I was enjoying Students for Life so much that I wondered if I should keep pursuing engineering. And my senior year, I was studying to take the FE, which is a super long exam that tells your future employers that you learned something. And I asked God to let me fail the exam if He wanted me to pursue a job in the pro-life movement instead. I passed the exam, unfortunately, and I settled on the thought that He was just hinting I had more to offer as an engineer. So fast forward to the spring, just a few months ago in May, I graduated and I was dreading my first day at work like never before. That was very out of character for me. The first day at work was very rough, and the next day was pretty rough too, and the next few weeks, and probably the next few months too, actually. And that's not a reflection of the company I work for, so if you know my boss, do not tell him I was complaining about work. That's just a reflection of the dissatisfaction inside of me, and of course the itch. So during this time is when I decided to torture myself with the half marathon. So I was running several times a week, and conveniently on most of my runs I would pass by a statue of the Virgin Mary right outside my home church of St. Anthony's of Padua. It's in Columbus Grove. So a lot of times it was dark outside too, and not many people were around, so I had to either think about how badly I wanted to stop running or about all the stuff that was going on in my life at the time. During those runs, I realized that last summer I had been mostly living for myself, just working, hanging out with my friends on the weekend, and it felt selfish. I wasn't living for anyone else, and I wasn't living for God, that's for sure. So I still had the itch. So one of the first things I finally decided to do to get through this was to start a Bible study with a couple of my friends that had graduated. If any of you know Allison Stump, she's here. I saw her earlier. There she is. She was a huge help with this. She would meet me at a coffee shop and let me talk through things, and it was so perfect. So my friend Lauren suggested that we read Wisdom. She's so wise. She's so smart. So we read the book of Wisdom, and I'll share one of my favorite parts with you. Chapter 6, verses 11 and 12. Desire therefore my words, and you shall be instructed. Resplendent and unfading is wisdom, and she is readily perceived by those who love her, and found by those who seek her. And it sort of sounded like, ask and you shall receive. Maybe not the immediate solution to your problems, but the wisdom to guide you through. And over the last couple of months, God has granted me the wisdom to see the value in that Bible study, all the friends around me, spending time in silence, especially at the prayer garden that I mentioned before with the statue of Mary, and spending time away from my phone. I recently deleted Instagram. That was huge. I'm not saying you have to delete your social media, but it's wise to ask God to show you what parts of your life are tools for you and which are just distractions. So now I'll really spoil the ending for you and say that I thought by now I'd have it all figured out, and I don't. I still feel uncertain about my future, and I still have the itch. So you could just scrap everything I said if you wanted, that's fine. I definitely haven't reached the finish line yet. But seeking God's wisdom and trusting in His plan has granted me so much comfort while I still discern what my future looks like. And hopefully He'll grant me some more patience, but I think it's also important to not simply wait for your calling. You have to deliberately pursue it, even if you don't fully know what it is yet. So I've made an attempt to embrace servitude in all areas of my life since that realization that my post-grad life was very selfish, and I started volunteering at a pregnancy resource center by me, and they let me organize baby clothes, which is awesome. I love organizing things, so that works out great. And another big part of that service is being out here on the sidewalks, and hopefully I can get out here more, but I think that the sidewalk advocacy we do here is a great example of how service is really at the heart of the pro-life movement. It's important to be out here, I realize, because you can really start to empathize not only with the patients, but even the abortionists. I actually saw one the last time I was out here, and it's just weird to see that they're like normal looking people, because you can paint a bad picture in your head so easily. But I think when you come out here, especially when they're open, you can get a better idea of how to pray for these people. You can see that they're human just like us, and they're making they might be making mistakes too. So keep showing up. Bob and Joan and all the others love to see you out here. They really appreciate you guys helping. I know that much, and it's awesome to watch them too. When I saw them out here most recently, I felt like I was watching a movie from afar, a really inspiring movie. So it's awesome to come out here. So with that, thank you all for listening to me ramble. Continue to come out here, and if you feel like you're at a point in your life where you just don't know what's going on, it's okay. I know you all will be fine because you have the itch, and you will keep pursuing God's calling you towards. So thank you all. Don't be a stranger, and I'll pass it on to Ella so she can introduce the next speaker.